So why are you always giving me a hard time when it's time to discipline my kid?
Really?
Yeah. Look, this is not just Big Dog Talk podcast. This is a therapy session for me as well.
So now you want to have therapy?
Yeah. Why are you giving me a hard time, especially when I'm disciplining a boy?
All right. I do.
Yeah, you do. I know.
So, because keeping it real, at times I feel like it's harsh. I feel like sometimes your parenting style is harsh. However, since this is something that we've been working on we have been working on for a while in our relationship.
You French now.
We've been working on me not interfering with you when you're disciplining the children. I've gotten a lot better at it. Give me credit. I'm waiting for my credit. I want it. Give it to me. What are you doing?
No, listen, you got me better. You made me give you credit. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Dog Talk podcast, and it's your boy Big Charles.
Big Shay is definitely in the building. What's up, baby?
Yo, what up? What up, though? I'm excited. Listen, I'm excited to be on the mic once again, y'all. Listen, I love it here.
You do.
I do. I'm in my zone. I'm in my lane, and this is fun.
So on the way to work, you said something in the car. You said you are proud of you.
Yeah, I'm proud of me.
I want to hear that.
I'm proud of me because, again, everyone that's, if you've been watching us, you know that I didn't know anything about podcasting. I didn't know anything about the camera setup, the lighting, anything. All of y'all, each and every single week, you guys are in the trenches with me.
Yep.
All I do is study podcasting, study the art of podcasting. No one taught me any of this that's going on, and I'm getting better. I'm proud of the stress that I've endured, and I'm also proud of the stress that no longer is stress anymore because I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
I
mean, talk your talk, Big Charles. If ain't nobody else gonna pat you on the back, you better go ahead and pat yourself on the back.
Let me get my book. Hold on. Child, I even got a BDT book. You understand me?
Listen.
Listen, I didn't come to play.
Business 101. Have you a book, baby?
We're going to be here for a while.
Have you a book dedicated to the business?
We're going to be here for a while, and I'm grateful for this lane, man. I feel good. I feel purposeful.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the journey is very exciting still.
It is.
You just never know what you're going to get.
That's facts.
You never know. Just like being your co-host and watching the grind, it's like you could just show up to work and it's technical difficulties, this, that, and the third, like stuff that you didn't plan for. And
right now, I'm all of that.
Every piece of it.
I'm every piece of the business. And I love it because it's mine.
Well,
it's mine.
Talk your talk, Big Charles.
One successful business owner told me, he said, you don't have to learn everything, but learn enough of everything where you know enough. And I feel like I'm getting it though.
Yeah.
Man, this is mine. This is my baby. Big Dog Talk podcast is Big Charles' baby. You know what I mean? And I feel good about it. I feel really good about it, you know? So
you talking your ish today.
Yeah, because I feel good.
Yeah.
I put that work in. You know how when you go to the gym and you start seeing results?
Man.
You're in the mirror like, oh, I got an extra bump behind
it. Make you want to go back when you start seeing that back getting unbigged.
When you listen.
Unbig your back.
You see what I'm saying? So I feel good about it. I'm grateful for it because, man, I'm just grateful and I'm happy. I'm excited today. I'm excited. Before we even go into anything, though, I got a problem with every one of you listeners right now. Well, not every one of you. There's a few of you. You have been hitting me up in my DMs talking about Pastor Charles. I am not no pastor. I am not no preacher. That's Big Cat.
That's Big Cat from Big Charles.
Hey, that's Big Cat.
I didn't even know they was doing that.
Talking about Pastor, you left a good word today. You said a good word. At this point, at this time on the podcast, I am not a pastor. I am not a preacher. That's cap. That's not even funny.
Well, they saying you sound like one.
Well, I'm a preacher's kid. I'm a Bible baby.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I'll take the sounding like one, but I am far from a pastor, I think.
Don't be coming for our people like that. I don't even really like how you did that.
But they hit me up in the DM talking about pastor, and they were serious though. Serious. Like hitting me up like, "Ooh, that was a good message on this part and this part and this part."
Motivational Mondays?
But they started from the episode.
Oh, okay, just in general.
They started off the message by saying pastor. That's so disrespectful.
Big cap.
Big cap.
That's positive feedback. Don't be coming for our people like that.
Right.
And shout out to our loyal day oneers.
Man.
We see y'all.
I definitely see y'all.
And y'all are mad motivating.
Yeah.
The fact that from the beginning up until now, y'all still rocking just as hard. So I just want to say, I know Big Charles and Big Fashion trying to come for y'all, but Big Shay want to say, I appreciate the day oneers and I appreciate the new community, the new people in the community that's really rocking with us.
About pastor. Well, if I'm a pastor, that makes you a first lady.
Didn't sign up for that.
Well, be quiet then.
Didn't sign up for that.
Maybe this is a Big Dog Talk podcast. It's a everything. It's a church. It's a comedy show. It's a therapy office. It's all of that.
I didn't sign up for that.
Well, you don't want to be on the show?
I'm on the show.
Well, be quiet then.
No, you don't talk to them like that.
Well, they shouldn't call me that.
Sure.
Anyway, man.
Right.
You're looking nice and ready. Looking really, really ready.
Red lips, red shirt, everything red.
Right.
You peep it though.
Only good things happen to me. You say that often.
Yeah, I developed that slogan for myself.
That affirmation.
Affirmation, thank you. That affirmation, not slogan, affirmation. What was I thinking? About 5-6 years ago.
Right.
And it really came about because that entrepreneurial struggle was tearing me up through these streets and kicking me around and throwing me around and beating me up. And so essentially any time that I would like get discouraged, like, man, this is hard,
right,
I would put it out there and manifest what I needed in the business. And I would say, only good things happen to me. Every single time I said that affirmation, I kid you not, that thing that was stressing me out turned around, felt like instantaneously. You saw it.
So you said.
Wait. I was in disbelief at first.
Okay.
So I had to put it to the test like a few times.
Okay.
And just recently, about 2 weeks ago, I put it to the test. And I said, all right, this is what I need. Only good things happen to me. Next thing you know, clients is kicking down the door. So it still works.
It still works.
It still works. And it's always going to work.
What I like about that, the statement that you made, you said you do it. You use it when you're going through the struggle.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to get preachy and preach, you know what I mean?
Big cap.
But it's good that you are able to self-govern yourself, right? And recognize that your mind can shift a certain way when you're going into the struggle, right?
Big talk.
It's easy to fall in a victim's mindset when you're facing struggle, right?
Big talk.
But you redirected that by saying only good things happen to me, instead of saying, you know what, I can't figure this out. Man, this is too hard for me. I can't. Man, I'm ready to quit. You say only good things happen to me. I like that. I like that.
Listen. One thing that I'm discovering on this like journey to create the life that I envision for myself, the life that I envision for my family, the life that I envision for my marriage is that it's mind over matter.
Right.
Mental game gotta be strong because naturally when life start lifing.
Because life gonna life.
The human side of you really sometimes just want to like lay down and be like, you know what? I'm tired. This is stressful. Like, oh my God, why is this happening to me again?
Facts.
Same thing. And in business, in personal life, in parenting, in marriage and relationships, it's going to happen. And so this affirmation that I created for myself, only good things happen to me. When I say it, I feel like I'm attracting what I need at the time and what I don't even know that I need.
And you also fighting against what you don't need.
Yeah, which is negative energy, which is only going to set me back. Doubt, fear, lack of confidence.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So only good things happen to me. Like, and listen, when I say it with attitude. Only good things happen to me.
Right.
I don't know what you thought was about to happen, but I already know only good things happen to me.
Okay, First Lady.
Oh, big cap.
Can we get a first
big cap.
As you guys notice that my wife makes sure we have communion every week.
Every time we come to work, need a little communion, a little sparkling.
We drinking some wine today. We having communion.
A little something light.
Yeah. Let me get a look. But yeah, man, I love that affirmation. And as you can see, can I shift?
Yeah.
Can I shift? Because I have to give a shout out to my daughter right quick.
Oh, okay.
So my daughter went to Japan.
My daughter. Woo!
Look at her. Yeah.
Shout out to the princess.
Yeah,
y'all know all about the princess though.
Right.
She's top tier.
So she brought me a shirt back that say Tokyo on it, man. And I'm grateful that my daughter, fresh out of college, it has it been a month yet? It's been probably a month. Just
about a month. A little over a month. She May 12th, 11 she graduated.
Oh, let's do this.
Oh.
We talked about this a lot of times on the podcast.
Right.
Our daughter, fresh out of college, no debt, right?
Check.
Came home to be able to work for mommy.
Check.
Get a paycheck.
Check.
Because you have your own business. Because we have our own family business.
Yes.
Also, she was able to go and travel to Tokyo, Japan for 10, 11 days.
Yes.
Right?
And she saw 3 cities? She saw 3 to 4 cities while she was there.
It's so many lessons in those checks that we just checked off.
Yeah.
Went to school, came out debt free, came home, worked for mommy, part of the family business. And because she works for mommy, she can set her schedule according to her needs. Basically, hey ma, I want to go to Japan for 10 days around this time, and she doesn't have to check in with nobody else but mommy boss.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to go to Japan and have no debt, no worries, no concern.
Right.
FaceTiming us, bringing us gifts back.
Bought herself a nice new bag in Japan.
That 2 minutes of what we just did, and it's not to like brag. That is a lot.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not to brag, but this is one of our biggest flexes.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I'm gonna always brag and boast about my children. Why? Because everything that we just checked the boxes off came from obviously intentional parenting.
Intentional parenting.
Intentional parenting. And it's not always easy.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? And shout out, we get to take some credit, but also shout out to Autumn because she was actually out there in the trenches getting it done.
Yeah, putting that work in.
With the expectation that we all had already laid out as a family, like we did with her, and we're doing it with her brothers now.
Right.
Intentional parenting.
Yeah.
Conscious intentional parenting.
Right.
It's a thing.
It is. So let's talk about it.
It's a thing. So we talk about Autumn a lot. Like, the great thing about our oldest princess is that she's a trailblazer in our house. Mm-hmm. So the beauty of her story and everything that she's been able to accomplish, and I know she's not even finished yet. Like, she's just barely scratching the surface, right?
Just getting started.
But the beauty of it is because of the foundation that we supported her in laying out for herself, she gets to live life with no pressures.
Just think about the pressure you were in at 21 years old. Most of us, when we were 21, we were already adults, basically, with adult responsibilities.
Listen, At 22, I was a mother. So looking at, why am I getting emotional when I say that? Oh no. Why am I getting emotional when I say that? Because at her age, I had the pressures of her life. You know what I mean?
No.
So at her age,
which was?
She's going on 22. I gave birth to her at 22. So at her age, I was already becoming a mother.
Okay.
So the pressures of life, everything that I had to accomplish no longer was for me. Mm-hmm. Everything in my life at that point, at her age, at 22, shifted towards, I'm responsible for this person now. And that was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So to fast forward and see the fruits of the labor with her and to see how her life is so carefree and she gets to like live without all of those pressures and those stresses, like it's a flex for me. I'm never gonna stop flexing on that.
It's a big flex. No debt, no college loan, no car note, no bills, just freedom.
Just freedom.
Just freedom.
Yes. Just freedom.
She still get to experiment. Okay, I want to go try this out. If that doesn't work, okay, I get to go try this out. It's just free there.
Yes.
And to see her in that space, smiling and enjoying being home and working for mommy, going on vacation and just not having the burdens that we had at that age.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
It's funny because we were talking the other day, and I remember like this, like in college when I was like 18, 19 years old. This is like a story time, right? It's my first spring break in college, and one of my homegirls at the time was like, let's go get a piercing, right? And so I'm like, cool. And I'm like, what kind of piercing? So back in the late 1990s, like those tongue rings were pretty important, like pretty popular.
Please don't tell me you went and got a tongue ring.
So I did. I went and got a tongue ring and had it for, my parents were so mad at me. It was such an impulsive, like young college. Stupid. I can do what I want to do. So I'm going to go do something real silly, ignorant, like go get a tongue ring, childish. Right? The story though, yeah, it was silly. Okay, it was silly. I did. But the interesting, well, I'm saying that to say that when I found out that I was pregnant with Autumn,
right,
one of the first things that I did was took that tongue ring out. And I took it out because in that moment, I knew that becoming a mother was something that I was going to take so serious.
I was wondering what you was getting ready to do.
I'm just saying that when I became pregnant with her, my whole mindset shifted.
I mean, but here it goes though, that you really don't really grow up until you have children.
I'm talking about it changes everything.
When you have children, you're supposed to grow up.
I would hope so.
Because I can remember when you were bringing Charles into the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
snap.
That's the clean version. I remember I had, honest truth, I had $7,000 in the bank. $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
You were pregnant.
Very pregnant.
And the economy had just dropped.
2010-ish, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It dropped in 2008, but the economy, it was still down.
Right.
So I was like, here I go, getting ready to bring a son into this world. And I don't have anything to give him.
I do remember you saying that to me.
I don't have anything to give to this baby that's coming into the world.
Yep.
Before we were looking for a baby shower location.
Yes. Yep.
Instantly, it made me go into like go mode. Like Charles, when you were pregnant with Charles, it took me to a place where I got to get it done. I had to have something before he even come into this earth that he already owned.
Right.
Within that 9 months before you were pregnant, I owned my first home.
Before I gave birth.
Before you gave birth, I mean. Before you gave birth. I think I was 24 at the time. 24. 20, right?
About that, yeah.
So my point I'm making is kids grow you up.
Yeah.
Kids grow you up.
What's interesting, what's interesting is that with you saying that you were 24 and I was saying that I was 22, even though like we became parents
at a young age.
At a very young age.
Basically still kids.
Basically still very young. And it immediately changed my mindset. And now you're having your story time and saying that it immediately changed your mindset too. Because I remember us driving in the car and getting off the freeway and you looked at me and you said those very words to me. He was like, I don't have anything to give to my firstborn son. Nothing. And it was like a switch had happened to you and you kept your head down. And by the time you came to be next, you was like, I want to show you something. I'm like, what you trying to show me? You're like, this could be a place for the baby shower. You had me thinking you have been looking for a venue so we can have the baby shower. I'm miserable. I'm pregnant. I'm just like, what's up? What?
I went and bought that house without telling anybody.
Walked in that house and I'm like, what? And he's like, this mine. I just bought it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you lying.
Yeah.
You lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are lying. But the crazy thing is, fast forward to when I was pregnant with Chase.
Gotta have another one.
You said, I'm getting ready to have another kid and I don't have nothing to give this one.
Yep.
And we look up, give birth to Chase. By the time he was 6 months, we moved into our home.
Yep. Yep. And we're saying that to say.
That's not bragging.
Well, listen, we're saying that to say we have it's our responsibility.
Right.
To make conscious decisions, conscious choices to make it easier for the next generation.
Absolutely.
Simple as that.
Absolutely.
Every choice, every decision that we make is not just about us. It's about the great, great, great grandkids that we will never see. And the main goal is about ownership because that ownership is what gives you freedom.
Right.
The more we can get freedom, the more we can operate in our own creativity, our own space, have this freedom and the space to do whatever we want to do in life.
Right. And see, I was thinking about this not too long ago where essentially we always say that we want to leave a legacy. Like you hear a lot of people say, I want to leave a legacy, for my children. I want to leave a legacy for my grandchildren. And obviously, material things is great, right? But I also think that as parents, we could take that up a notch.
Let's go.
The legacy that I envision that we are leaving for not just our children and our great grandchildren. Obviously, yes, the physical things, the property, the will, all those things. But we're also leaving them with a mindset of ownership, business, healing, financial literacy.
So here's the thing, though. Our job as parents is to teach our children how to think.
That's the mindset.
Think. Become a thinker. It is so easy.
Solve problems.
Because wherever there is a problem, I stand on this. Wherever there is a problem and you can solve it, there is a business. God energy.
No cap.
Wherever there is a problem and you can solve it, there is a business there.
Yep. I just caught up.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just caught up.
So we should teach our children to be thinkers, to be problem solvers, to be creative. And we, as parents, we have to create an environment where the soil is fertile.
Yeah.
Where they have the opportunity to grow.
Right.
The opportunity to allow their mind to imagine, to be drenched in their imagination.
Yes.
You know, that's our job.
Yes.
So,
yes. And leaving as a legacy, making sure that your children have emotional intelligence, making sure that your children can take emotion out of things to be able to make sound decisions. As an adult, that's one of the hardest things that I had to really grasp along this journey of self-development, because naturally I would always say, I'm an emotional person. What's wrong with that? Like, that's who I am. That's how God made me. Like, why do I need to change that part of me? Because there's also a lot of benefits to being emotional. Right. But as I continued on my self-development journey and my self-awareness journey and really digging into my shadow work, like, you cannot make emotional decisions, and you definitely can't solve problems when you're high off of emotions.
Oh, no.
You can't even see the solution.
No, you can't even trust anyone that's very emotional.
You can't even trust the decision that's being made.
Being led by emotions are dangerous.
By someone that's being led by emotions.
Being led by emotions are, and I remember you used to just put it back on me. You're just not emotional.
Yeah.
Like, that's not true. Then you would get on to me though when I would tell the kids.
Yes.
Stop that.
Right. Gather your emotions. Calm yourself down.
And let's have a conversation.
A logical conversation so that we can get to the solution.
Because as parents, I say this all the time. The family is the first level of education when it comes to children. I stand on that. Big Charles, why do you preach family so much? I know the benefits I got from my mother and father being together, and both of them spending time with me and teaching me life principles.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes when I talk about these things, it sounds foreign because a lot of people didn't come from a healthy family. Right. And it makes me look like I'm, you know, like I'm crazy or something. Right. You know, when I talk to a lot of men, I'm like, bro, you becoming too emotional right now. Right. You know, they take it as I'm calling them a B word or something. I'm like, calm your emotions down. Right. But because they weren't able to get that teaching at home, it looks crazy. Right. You know, so I'm a real practical person, and I know like right now we kind of talking through legacy, you know, parenting, intentional parenting, conscious parenting. But that for sure for some of our listeners, that could feel like foreign. You know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean? And so what are some like practical things that people can do from a parenting perspective to be more intentional with their children and more conscious in parenting style to get the results that they want to get? Ask the question you said. What are some like practical things that parents can do? Okay, I got it. Actionable items. You know what I mean? One, I would say, become a good listener of your child or children. 2, don't be so quick to shut them off when they're talking to you. Right. Because it is important that we allow our children to dream and to live in the imagination. I remember I said this before. My father before a football game, my friends were playing around running. And my father was like, "You're not going to play over there. Go sit in the corner and imagine how many touchdowns you're going to score." Right. And I was crying like I wanted to go play with my friends, but he made me go sit in the corner, and then I would start imagining how many touchdowns that I would score. Right. When it was time for game time, because I imagined how many touchdowns I was going to score, I wouldn't stop until I scored that many touchdowns. So we have to, 1, be good listeners. 2, allow your kids to have an imagination. Right. Want me to keep going? Or? No, I just for me, I just like to leave people with applicable things, right? Right. Tools, better word. So even like just piggybacking off of what you just said, like parenting, we know the cliche saying, parenting doesn't come with a handbook. Every child is different. However,
children are still small human beings with thoughts, with ideas, with feelings, with, things that opinions.
They have to be respected.
They have to be respected as such. And I think just when we have the mindset as parents that you want your kids to respect you because you're the parent, children deserve respect too. Because what that does is it really creates that closeness, that bond that builds that trust and that communication. You want your kids to come to you when they have a problem to solve because you guys are so close and the bond is so tight and they already know the communication lines are always open.
Yeah. I got to ask you this since you're on the microphone preaching. I'm going to throw you out there. Since they always hit me on the inbox and leave you alone, so why are you always giving me a hard time when it's time to discipline my kids?
Really?
Yeah. Look, this is not just Big Dog Talk podcast. This is a therapy session for me as well.
Oh, so now you want to have therapy.
Yeah. Why are you giving me a hard time, especially when I'm disciplining the boys?
All right. I do.
Yeah, you do. I know.
So, because keeping it real, at times I feel like it's harsh. I feel like sometimes your parenting style is harsh. However, since this is something that we've been working on we have been working on for a while in our relationship.
You French now.
We've been working on me not interfering with you when you're disciplining the children. I've gotten a lot better at it. Give me credit. I'm waiting for my credit. I want it. Give it to me. What are you doing?
No, listen, you've gotten better. You made me give you credit.
Yes, because I know I have gotten better, and you know it too.
You know what's funny is I was fussing at Chase the other day at the table. I was getting on to him, and I'm fussing because I don't like iPads at the table when I'm eating.
Story time again. Oh, I was just cringing.
Story time.
I wanted to jump in there and say, I told him he could. And here you come.
Story time.
Story time.
I'm a man of principle, right?
Here we go.
And my wife. So I told my kids that you are not allowed at the table with a
electronics
device.
Yes.
None whatsoever. Shay would constantly go behind my back and approve it after I had already said it. That is zero tolerance, especially when I'm at the table. So I come into the house after bringing my oldest boy to mixed martial arts. And my youngest son come down to the table to eat.
He was already at the table when you got there, babe.
Well, he had a device.
Yes.
So now I'm bothered because I'm getting ready to sit down. As my wife is making my food, I'm getting ready to sit down and eat as well. So I'm sitting down. She just in a good mood. Babe, you want some wine? What's wrong with you? What's the problem? She see my facial expression is just changing. So I didn't say this like at least 10 times. I do not want any of y'all having a device at the table. I know how strong family is. I know how strong family communication is. I know how important it is to have family time at the table. I know how important that is. So I'm creating something, not just for my family, but for their family and their family's family. So I sit down and I'm frustrated. So I'm eating. I get my food from my wife. I start eating. My son's just having a good time on his electronic device. And I just looked up.
He's in a good mood.
I said, Chase, did I not tell you that when I'm at this table, you are not to bring an electronic device at the table? My wife is in the kitchen like,
y'all, cringing.
I had to go ahead and put my foot down because my wife do not see how she's working against the principles and the legacy that I'm creating for our family lineage.
Here's the thing. I know that you said no electronics at the table. At the time, nobody was there. I was still cleaning up the kitchen from dinner. And he asked me, he said, Mom, are you eating dinner with me? I said, no, I'm going to finish cooking, put the food away and clean up the kitchen. Yes, you don't do that.
That's big cap.
It's not. It's not. And I said, yeah, you can come down with your devices. He was the only one at the table at the time.
That's big cap. That's big cap. That's big cap.
So I'm lying?
When Chase sat at the table and he had his device you would have sat down with him and still let him have that device at the time.
That's true.
That's big cap.
But
Shay, that's big cap.
I'm not negating that.
That's big
I'm
cap.
talking about the story that you just told, babe.
You had an issue with me telling my son that
because he had asked me and I said yes. Right. Mom, are you gonna eat dinner with, because he knows. So here's the thing. They will ask because, Mom, are you gonna eat too? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to sit down and eat yet. I'm going to wait for Dad and I'm going to finish cleaning up the kitchen. He's like, so can I go get my electronic device? I say yes, because he was the only one at the table.
So what happened when I sat down?
Okay, so then you cleared it up.
No, you didn't answer the question.
Nothing happened when you sat down.
Did he continue to stay on the
Yes,
laptop?
but you cleared that up at the moment. So what I'm saying is, if somebody's at the table,
that's already a bad habit that you are allowing them to have anyway. That's already a bad habit. Don't give me no look.
I'm getting ready. You get ready to get on my nerves. That's already
a bad habit. But at the end of the day.
So let me just say this. My thought, okay, so they don't do it during the week. Look, y'all, they don't do it during the week, right? So sometimes on Fridays, we'll get takeout and I look at it as part of them decompressing right. from the week. I don't like that look you giving me right now. Decompress from the week. They'll eat their food because their food will maybe come before ours. So they'll eat their food and they'll, get their electronic devices and just eat and, be on their electronic devices. However, if we are having a clearly defined family dinner, it's not like they're coming down with it knowing that we getting ready to have family dinner time.
Look, the fact that you got to explain yourself so much, that's not even the only time that you've gotten in the way when I was correcting the boys. You thought even the way I talk to them sometimes, you just think it's too hard.
I do.
Look.
I do.
I'm a Bible baby.
Spare the rod.
No, because I do not beat my kids.
No,
I don't whoop them.
That doesn't mean, I wasn't saying it from.
Means that. So we on camera.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
But it does say train up a child in the way and he or she should go. And the word train, it basically means discipline. It basically create a healthy system and boundaries,
right?
You know what I mean? That works for them in their youth, because it will become a time where we won't be around, and these same principles and
that's part of your legacy.
That
goes
legacy.
Back to what I was saying. That's a prime example of legacy outside of material things.
That is my legacy.
Yeah.
To give my kids a healthy system, discipline. Get up in the morning. You're going to get up. You're going to clean up the house first.
Productive,
Before you even think about touching that game, you're going to make sure all of your responsibilities are done.
Right.
I ain't whooping my kids. I don't have to do that. My parents didn't have to whoop me.
Right.
They was just stern.
Right.
And a lot of time we give kids, we're in a space now where we want to be just best friends with the kids as far as
that's very true.
We talk to our kids hey, bro, sis.
And everybody might not agree with that. Just last night, I was hanging out.
That's different. My daughter you was hanging out with our daughter. That is a grown adult. Now.
But I'm just saying, you also hung out with the boys, and you guys had real man time.
Right. See, it's the thing though. It says train up a child in the way and he or she should go. A lot of children needs discipline. That's a form of love.
It is.
Children needs correction. That is a form of love. That even scientifically, it shows that children love being corrected. Children love
routines.
Boundaries. Boundaries. Although they complaining at the time.
Yep.
It's healthy for them.
It's definitely healthy for the cognitive of a young child, for sure.
I mean, you a child.
Definitely healthy. And at the end of the day, I'm just really coming to the conclusion. I don't know why it took this long, but a mother's love is different from a father's love.
It definitely is.
And I think so to answer your question, I think that's where the conflict comes in. You know what I mean? When you ask me, why do I give you so much pushback when you're disciplining the kids? Because I'm always in that mother's love space, that nurturing, that mama bear. And then when you come in with your, enforcing, my mama bear stands up leave them alone. They're not even doing nothing.
But listen, here's the thing though.
For real.
This is why here's the thing. Like, you would come in there, let's just say if they had like a bad game or something.
Right.
You're like, oh no, it's okay. You done your best. It's all right.
You mean like when they play their sports and stuff?
When they play sports, yeah. Like, it's okay. You done.
I'm proud. I'd be like, I'm proud of you. You did a good job. You tried your best. You did good. You scored. Like, I saw you. You was out there killing it. I'm clapping. I'm excited.
No.
Then here he comes.
You did horrible today.
Busting a bubble. I'm like,
did horrible. You were lazy out there. You were crying too much. You wasn't a leader.
You did this with all three of the kids.
Because real life, they need that. I believe that we are living in a soft culture. Period. We living in a soft culture.
What do you mean by that, Big Charles?
Everything. It's okay, baby. No, it's not okay. You got to compete in this world. It is what that's the reality of things. If you don't teach your kids how to handle like tough love and tough feedback, they're going to break when someone tell them the truth.
I agree with that. But you know what? Going back to what you said, like just soft culture, like even when you think about like teachers in the classroom, I remember, this year, C4 was really focused on math. And so he had scored like maybe like a 79 or something. And his teacher was like, oh, that is great because that is like right there. That's a high C. Now, when it comes to that, I think that's when I'm like, my son got in the car, told me that. I said, son, don't you ever let any teacher tell you that a 79 is something to be celebrated.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. The next time you take your next, chapter math test, you're going to get better than a 79. What did my son get? An 85. Okay, now we celebrating. What did he get the next time? A 91. What did he get the next time? A 98. Okay, now we starting to celebrate. Right. Because mediocrity is applauded.
That is a disease.
It's applauded not only in children, but just in life in general. Just be mid.
All you have to do is a little bit more in this world.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And you'll be considered as like a genius.
Yeah.
Because we are a lazy culture. So here's the thing, like I want to bring it back though. The ladies, you guys may not like me for this, but sometimes when that man is disciplining the kids, disciplining the children, and it's not according to your likings, you got to get out the way. Because daddy's love and mommy's love is two different things. Two different things. Listen, I say listen a lot.
We listening, Big Charles. What? Go ahead.
But I believe, I think it's a natural thing for a woman to protect their child. Mama bear protect children. But men prepare them.
I like it. Protect.
Honest truth, because I remember I used to get bullied when I was a little kid. And my mommy was like the protector. And then one day she was like, you better never come home another day talking about you getting bullied. That day, I stood up. My daddy didn't have to tell me that. My mom,
right?
If you come home again, we got talking about you being bullied. You and I have a problem,
right?
The protector did that, but what my dad done was he started preparing me to be what my mom expected from me,
right?
And in our culture, our children used to be with the mom for a certain amount of time. And then the dad will come around 12 and 13 and take them out in the jungle, in the forest or in the wilderness and teach them skills, teach them trades. It's a balance. The mom is needed and the dad is needed.
Right.
Right?
Right. But I honestly pause because I like what you just said about preparing them. Like as I observe you now in the phase where you are with the boys and your intentionality around parenting and fathering them, like I see the way I get it. Like I get it now. Like you are in like the age that they're at right now, you are definitely in preparation mode with them. Hence, like when you tell people that, the boys have done boxing, the boys have done Muay Thai, the boys have done Jiu-Jitsu. People look at you and like, ooh, well, why do you have them doing that kind of stuff? Like they might want to do something that's a little bit more fun. And you always reply, like, I'm preparing my sons for the real world.
For the real world. That's just the truth.
And it's not only about the physicality of the martial arts that they're doing. It's discipline.
It's the brotherhood.
It's the brotherhood.
Knowing how to
the mentality.
The community, the environment around you, knowing how to move.
It's the taking care of your body. It's the health aspect behind it.
With it.
Yeah, the confidence that comes with it.
Story time. So we told this before in season 1, I think. My youngest son got hit in the head with a wooden ping pong paddle at his school by a 6th grader.
And he was a 3rd grader.
And my son at the time was a 3rd grader. The principal in the school system, that we're so soft now, the 6th grader was not going to get any consequences. I'm here being an advocate for my son. My son got a big gash across his head. Like, you guys not going to do anything about that? So the principal tell me, well, this student parent has just passed away, and he just took his anger out on your son. It was a misunderstanding, and we apologize about that. BS. BS.
Big BS.
You know, and my response was, respectfully, condolences to him losing his mom, but him going through that does not give him the right to handle it on my son, directed towards my son. Got the superintendent involved, got the teachers involved, and of course, this student wasn't African American.
Right.
And no one wanted to do anything. No one. We weeks of trying to figure it out, trying to get things done. I finally came to a conclusion. I told the superintendent and I told the principal. I said, this is my fault. This is my fault. I didn't prepare my son enough to be able to handle himself in this sort of situation. I woke up when I was in the bed. I mean, that haunted me.
Yeah.
That no one would defend my son, my little black son.
Yeah.
And my job as a father is to prepare.
Yeah.
It was my fault. I didn't have him prepared. I told the principal, I told the superintendent, this will never happen again. And it's sad that it's sad. But the reality is, when I took full accountability and said, that's my fault as a father, I didn't have him prepared for that.
That's real high level, though, because, I mean, I honestly...
It'll never happen again.
For you to take that situation and then turn it back on yourself and say...
Crying in tears.
This is my fault that I didn't prepare my son is on, like, some high-level conscious parenting type vibe for me.
I sit in the quiet. Listen, that God energy always speaks, and I kept looking for resolve. I kept giving the power to the principal and to the superintendent and to the teachers.
Right. We fought for weeks.
Was fighting. Made threats about suing and everything.
Calling like we went there.
And I heard that God energy say, this is your fault. You didn't prepare him. So instantly, I wiped my tear. I was laying in the bed. I wiped my tear. You came in the room. I said, this was my fault as their father. This will never happen again. Because the reality is, the real world is harsh.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. In the real world, you have bullies.
Yep.
In the real world, you have people to pick on you. This is just the real world.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you.
Nobody's gonna feel sorry for you.
Because nobody felt sorry for my son.
Nobody feels sorry for nobody feels sorry for nobody's situation. No, it's just the reality of things.
Right.
And us making our children soft, all it is doing is setting them up to fail in the future. You either the predator or the prey.
Yep.
That's just the reality of things.
Yep.
To see my kids walk around with so much confidence, to see them walk around with so much discipline, to see them walk around with the responsibility to carry them, have their chest out and their chin up. See my daughter walking around confident, know how to set boundaries. It's everything. It's everything. And that's why it's important for us as parents to be very intentional. To be very intentional. What life do we want to give to our children so they can build the life that they want to give to their children? what foundation can we give to them? Because
that's the legacy.
Listen, it ain't just about money.
No.
It ain't just about cars and clothes and material things. I teach my children a healthy system. And the system, sometimes they don't want to do it. I remember when I was a child, my father used to make me get up 6 o'clock in the morning and go cut my mother's 1 acre yard on a push mower.
Yeah.
And if I have did it, he will come get me and say, look at that yard. Can you put your name on it?
The thing about it too is what you're saying, like with sharing a story like that, with you pushing, having to mow that lawn that's like 1 acre big. As parents, we always want to make it easier for our kids.
Yeah.
And that could be a mistake if you don't tweak it right? Because making it easier sometimes can not give them no responsibilities.
Right.
They're not helping at home. They can be lazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can think the world like revolves around them and just not productive, contributing citizens.
Man, listen, that's big facts. This. You keep going?
No. I'm stuck on that thought though.
It's so real though. I walked in the kitchen a few days ago, and they had dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
It just brought it back to my memories. We got to have a conversation.
I was just gonna say we actually having a family meeting.
Because there's no way
it's time.
There's no reason that mommy and daddy should be providing, or mommy should be providing, daddy should be providing, mommy providing. It's no reason where we should come downstairs and there's dishes in the sink. And we
dishes in the dish drain. Put them dishes away.
We wash the dishes for them sometimes. Yeah. We do favors for them. It's no reason. See, this is the thing though. When I say family is the foundation, is the first level of education for children. Right. Here's the thing though. We get to use this as a learning lesson. Yep. Hey, let's have a family meeting. Listen.
The system got some cracks in it right now. We need to tighten it up.
Get your brothers, come here. Mommy and I shouldn't have to wake up in the morning and put the dishes away in the sink. Yeah, I know you washed the dishes. Yeah, I know you swept the floor, cleaned the house up. But mommy shouldn't have to come down before work and put the dishes up. That's an insult. Right. This family system, this is a system, and we help each other out. Yep. When you guys are tired some days, mommy and daddy just start washing the dishes. We're sweet. Right. After we done worked all day. Yep. But these are the lessons. Even like with Chase at the table, I didn't yell at him. I said, Chase, didn't daddy not say, I don't want electronic devices at the table when I get here? And he wanted to be bothered. I said, but here's the thing, son. This was a lesson. Yeah. I said, here's the thing, son. When we sit at the table as a family, this is communication time. This is my time to ask you how your day was. This is your time to ask me about my day. This is time for us to come together and bond and bring our relationship even closer. Right. And he looked at me and I said, son, if I allow you to do this now, you will allow your children to do this. And this goes against daddy's legacy. This is exactly how I said it. Yep. And he got it instantly. Yep. He got it. Yep. All of my principles, most of my principles that I even live by now come from that family structure. So let me ask you this. What do you say to the listener right now that's saying, well, I'm a single mom? How do we create structure? Because Autumn, you was a single mom before I came into play. And Autumn already had some sort of structure there. Right. Which was one of the reasons that I was really attracted to you. Like, I've never seen a child be raised that way. It's very interesting that you asked that question because my mind immediately went to when I was a single mom, I operated in some masculine energy too. Ooh. And so not only was I protecting her, but I was also preparing her too. Right. And so in preparing her as a single mother to a daughter, there were just certain routines and certain, things that I had to make sure that I taught her at an early age because I was preparing her. Right. So, for example, Autumn can cook her butt off. Right. And we started that very young. Autumn, when she was very young, she knew she had to get up and make her bed. Autumn started helping, clean up the kitchen at a very young age. Autumn started helping with the laundry at a very young age.
obviously when it's just, so my single moms out there, I obviously when it's just you and your baby or your babies, you do have to delegate certain things to them because that's your team. Y'all a team. That's your system. Your system consists of you and your baby or you and your babies, right? But you still have to, unfortunately, but fortunately, you got to tap into that prepare energy too. You have to tap into that. It's just me and my babies. And how can I take this moment as a single mother and prepare and set my son, my daughter up for success in the future? I had expectations on her very early around her education, around reading. She would be reading in the car to and from school. I had expectations on her around what time she needed to go to bed. She had an alarm clock in her room at a very young age because everybody has to hold their weight. And from a single mother perspective, the kids do have to hold a little bit more weight than if there was a 2-parent household, right? But if I could do anything different, based off what I know now, I would have explained and communicated the whys behind everything versus being a tired single mother working a corporate job and trying to provide and give the best to my daughter. It wasn't a whole lot of value added conversations. It was kind of like, because this is just what we need to do. Right. I love you. Like, just trust the process.
And that's the thing, though.
Just trust it.
I like that when you say because of the why. This is one thing that kids do when they're young. They always ask why.
Yep.
And parents usually don't explain the why. And when you don't explain the why, what you're doing, you're affecting the relationship between child and parent. It's necessary to explain the why. Do this. Why, Dad? You know what, son? Instead of me saying, because I said so, this is why. Later on in life, these are some challenges or some things that you're going to have to face. And if I start preparing you now, it will make it easier for you in your future.
Right.
So I'm glad that you pulled out that your lesson was, I would explain the why.
Yes.
Explain the why.
I just think that, and shout out to all the parents out there. And even if we have listeners that are not parents, I still, trust me, I still feel like this is good dialogue. You know what I mean? Because a lot of this stuff, we're talking about it from a parenting perspective, experience. But a lot of this can translate into, relationships as well, though. Just with the day-to-day going, coming, working, as adults, we just get tired.
Right.
But bringing it back to the kids, when you pause as a parent and become more conscious and take the time to explain to your children the whys behind, why you're enforcing this certain thing. Like, school's going to start back up. Bedtime is at 9:00. Kids, they don't like that because most kids all summer have just been living their best life, staying up late, watching TV, playing their video games, just living their summer life. You know what I mean? So even when you have to fix the system back, to get back on a routine, to get the results that the family needs to get, it's still good to have those conversations. So here's the thing. School's going to start, in 2 weeks. The week leading up to that, we're going to start slowly transitioning back into our normal schedule. Why? Because your body is not used to going to sleep at a certain time and waking up. And we don't want to try that the night before because we want to gear your body up, get your body back to healthy sleeping, a healthy routine. Like, it takes time to do those things, but the benefits from it that you gain from your children, you build trust, you build an open line of communication. And then it also makes their mind think about that information in a different way. And it gets embedded into their brain cells, their memory. And it becomes a part of them that later in life, they can incorporate those same principles and values into their life later.
It goes back to great breakdown, First Lady.
Thank you.
It all goes back to train up a child and the way he or she should go. You are a teacher.
I am.
Of little babies.
I am.
You know how easy it is to shape a child from...
Absolutely. I do it every day.
You do it every single day.
And the the thing about it is that I do it from a positive perspective, right? Like I'm incorporating routines and we're doing certain things so that I'm positively impacting their brains. But that can also be done negatively on the flip side. When children don't have boundaries, when children don't have routines, when children aren't allowed the ability to communicate and have conversation and understand the whys, it impacts them negatively.
When parents only depend on the school system to raise their kids,
it impacts them negatively. It does. So a mother's love is different from a father's love, and rightfully so, because mama bears, we gonna protect. And to my dads out there, y'all got to prepare.
I'm still like we're using our kids because this is our experience.
Right.
You know, like I said earlier, train up a child in the way he or she should go. A child needs training. A child, we think sparing the ride is training them.
It's not.
We think, pushing them in. No. Train them, create a healthy system for them.
Yes.
They may not like it. They may not. You give them a healthy system, meaning create some routine, wash the dishes. Also, but here's the flip side, give them a reward.
I'm big on, positive reinforcement does something very special for the brain. That's what I'm saying. As parents, we're so quick to go that negative route because if something happens that we don't like, then we respond in a way where there's a negative reaction.
Right.
But when you get the behavior that you absolutely want to see,
right,
and you attach a reward to it, then it's motivating. Who doesn't love to be motivated?
Right. So this is when you give this is good. This is good. When you give and we're going to get out of here soon. We almost done. This is long church service today. But when you give a child a healthy system, when you make them wake up in the morning, take care of their responsibilities, make sure they take care of their schoolwork, when you make sure that they have these things in place, you are teaching them how to manage their own lives, their own world. You are teaching them how to manage their world.
Yes.
And I say this all the time. And I want you guys to hear me when I say this. God do not give you what you pray for. God give you what you can manage. What do you mean by that, Big Charles? If you don't manage your relationship, what's going to happen? You're going to lose it.
Yep.
If you don't manage your weight, what's going to happen? You're going to lose it. If you don't manage paying your mortgage bill, guess what? You're going to lose it. If you don't manage your mind, you're going to lose it. If you don't manage your life, you're going to lose it. So if you don't create a healthy system and train that child up in the way he or she should go and teach them how to be managers and self-governors of their own lives, they will lose everything that you work for to give them, and they will lose everything that comes into their life, even in their adulthood. Simple as that.
Family is a business.
Family is a business.
Family, my people, family is a business. And we have to look at it as such. That doesn't take the feel good out of the word family. That doesn't take the love out of family. That doesn't take the happy moments out of family. But family is a business, and everyone has a role in that business. Everybody has a role, and everybody has to hold their weight. I just told my husband, I'm getting I got the boys new alarm clocks. I said, because this school year, everybody is holding their weight. I'm not waking anybody up. You're going to set your alarm clock. You're going to manage the time that you're going to get up. You're going to give yourself enough time that you need to do all your morning routine, get yourself dressed, and be down for breakfast at 7:30. I'm done with that because they're getting older. So now I got to elevate, their ownership in what they get to manage. Everybody got to hold their own weight.
And for the single parents out there, what advice would you give them? Because I'm pretty sure they're probably saying, well, you guys are married. What advice would you give? And I want you to think about it, because I don't want anyone to be a victim of their situation. I don't want anyone to feel like we're leaving them out as far as, well, you guys are married. This is why you guys can set up a healthy system for them. So what advice would you give a single parent to help create a healthy system for their children?
I mean, I think I talked about it a little bit earlier.
When we leave out here, we leave with points.
No, I'm saying I think I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I'm going to start this segment with saying something that I get from Big Charles. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. Like, being a single mother, I never had, and I'm speaking from single mother perspective because that's what I know, to my single dads out there, this is applicable to you as well. But as a single mother, nobody's going to feel sorry for you. There are no handouts. There are no shortcuts. So I didn't allow that to make me a victim. I use that as a motivator. Because I didn't know that 7 years into being a single mother that I was going to find my life partner.
I mean, your knight in shining armor.
My knight in shining armor, my prince charming, my everything, my person. I didn't know that I was going to find that. So every day I woke up with a mindset where it's me and my baby. It's me and my baby literally against the world. And like I said earlier, looking back, single moms, you do have to tap into some of that masculine energy. Mm-hmm. You do have to be able to prepare and think ahead and, create those boundaries, create those routines, and don't be soft about it. Don't let that mother side sway you where you feel sorry for you because you're a single mother and you feel sorry for your baby because it's just you and your baby. Right. Your kids are looking at you as a single parent. You all they got. And so it's up to you to create that safe space where they can be nurtured, they can be prepared for the future, they can feel protected, and they can learn skills being taught by you to set them up at every different phase of their life. Because that's the thing. There's phases to parenting. Right. And depending on where you are, if you have a elementary school kid, that looks a certain way. When they go to junior high school, you can start anteing it up and give them more responsibilities because they need to understand, I need your help. They need to understand it's me and you. I need you to help me. So this is the part that I'm going to need you to manage so that our family business, regardless of if it looks untraditional at the time, is still going to function and we're still going to create success. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you.
And don't feel bad when you can't provide something for that child. For instance,
let's talk about it.
My example is, I can't do everything for my sons or my daughter. I can't provide everything. So when I realize that I can't provide certain things that's going to help make their future brighter, I go and search for it. So I'm saying a woman may say, "Hey, they don't have a father figure right now." Get in an environment where they can have a father figure. You know what I mean? The father may say, I may be raising these kids on my own. Get in the environment where they can have a plethora of mother figures.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it takes a village to raise.
It does.
And we are setting up the next generation to not just be better than us, but we are preparing them to set up their generation and their generation. And we are taking our power back. Simple as that.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yep.
Explain the why. Be good listeners. Create and train up a child. Create a healthy system for them.
Create a healthy system.
Which is discipline. Reward them. Am I missing anything? Are we good?
And the truth of the matter is, a mother's love is different from a father's love.
A mother's love is definitely different from a father's love. So does that mean you're going to stop giving me a hard time, or it's still going to hurt?
So I'm going to do my best. Like that in the kitchen, I didn't say nothing. I just held it in. I was like, whoo. I was like, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to turn around and wash these dishes. Whew.
we got so many stories though.
We do.
Got so many stories though. When you was baby at Charles, when he played a horrible football game.
Yeah.
We parked in the car, and I parked the car. I said, "Stop it!" I was fussing. Stop it!
Stop doing that!
Stop doing that! Stop doing that to my son. You played a horrible football game. You had a bad attitude, and if you do not represent yourself like that, or your last name.
But
his mind shifted that day.
Full circle moment when he got in the car this past week from his mixed martial art class and he didn't feel like he did a good job. You turned around and was able to parent from a different direction and was like, but what did you learn from it?
What did you learn from it?
You feel like you didn't do your best and you're upset about it. That's okay. But what did you learn from it? Because the fact that you showed up and you didn't do your best, that's a lesson in it. So now we got to think about what did you learn from it and how you're going to show up better the next time to close that gap.
I said, because the strength comes when you show up the next time.
Yep.
Do you feel like quitting?
It's layers. You could keep adding layers to intentional parents, and it's always going to layer up. They sick of us. They sick of us. I love you too.
Where can they find us at so we can get up out of here?
Y'all know the drill. Well, let me tell you where you can find me first. So if you want to follow Big Shay, you can find me on Instagram at blackmagic_369. I'm on TikTok too, y'all.
You can find Big Charles at I am Charles Hawkins, I. You can follow our IG at Big Dog Talk _podcast. You can find us at Big Dog Talk Podcast YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, hit the button, and share. Hey, you guys have been making sure that we are growing. This is a growing, healing community. All we ask that
shout out to the listeners in Africa, though. The followers in Africa. That's big.
Big Dog Talk in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big pressure.
Right, yeah. But at the end of the day, man, we love y'all. And we hope that you guys can find principles through our sharing of experiences, and you take home and apply, and it brings value to your life.
And remember, only good things happen to us. And
See
that's you.
y'all next week.
Peace.
Boom.